My God, it's full of stars.
The complex drive people can get away. I think so. The complex drive people can get away. I think so.
Throwing the bone weapon. Oh, my droogies, this is going to be, the next 3 videos are going to blow your freaking mind, because they blew mine. And what we're going to be going over is time travel and Project Rainbow. And all right, it's One-Eyed Jacks here, and had a really good week. Someone very close to me emailed me and told me that this person was very skeptical of the whole flat Earth thing for a long time. They would listen to my stories, but they really shine me on. But they recently sent me an email, and they are now full-on cuckoo bird flat earthers. So that was awesome. And what we're going to go through in this video is polar opposites. And we're going to go on a little tangent in the beginning of this, but we have, so Polaris Productions is the production company for Kubrick's movie 2001: A Space Odyssey. So Polaris is the North Star. This would be the star that never moves in the sky. This is what Taika was talking about. The stars show no apparent parallax changes. You have Tom Cruise. He's a missile. Okay, so we're going to do missiles in the beginning of this as well. So you have the Maverick missile. He plays Maverick in Top Gun. You have the Cruise missile. You have the Sidewinder road. That's the going to the Sun road, Apollo the Sun. The Sidewinder missile. You have Polaris Productions, which is also, turns out, a missile, the Polaris missile system. So we have ICBMs woven into this thing. You have the Polaris snowmobile. This would be a single track vehicle. In the book, it's a Ski-Doo snowmobile. So you have Jupiter and Saturn, the two prime, Jupiter battles Saturn in the Battle of the Titans. So in the movie it's Jupiter, in the book it's Saturn. Let me do something here. So you have the Saturn rockets at the World's Fair, the first time we get to see them. And it was Jupiter in the movie and Saturn in the book. And there's the Titan missile. So we have the Titan, the Polaris, the Maverick, the Sidewinder, the Saturn V rocket. So let's go back to twins now. We have the Titanic and the Olympic. The Titanic never sinks, the Olympic does. There's the Titan missile, the largest missile we have. There's the Gemini twins, also a Zodiac. Hal has a twin 9000 computer back on Earth that thinks he's made an error. So he's a twin. We have the Cyclops and the Odysseus myth. And we have Hal as the Cyclops. The man who would be king is a Rudyard Kipling. Kipling creation.
White man's burden, Lloyd, my man.
It was directed by John Huston. Houston, we have a problem. You got Woody Strode and Kirk Douglas. We have a black man, a large black man, and a small white man. They're junkian opposites. They talk about the snow cat. It's a snow track. So it's a pair. We have the snow track and the snow cat. One's a two-track vehicle. One's a four-track vehicle. 24. It's the first trans-Antarctic expedition. So we're always looking for first. And it's Vivian Fuchs. We have they're lying in polar opposite positions. One's face up, one face down, one faces north, one faces. So we're giving analogies to the poles of our planet, the sphere we supposedly live on. There's polar opposites. You have the North Pole and the South Pole. So throughout this puzzle, we're given balls. There's the snowball fight. That's actually 8-ball, but the picture I wanted to have in there is Snowball from my Full Metal Jacket. That's this character Snowball. We have the labyrinth, so we're making pairs again. We have the Minotaur and the labyrinth. We have Jack. So we have the Minotaur and the Minotaur myth. We're connecting that directly to Jack as the Minotaur, and there's the labyrinth. Danny is Theseus slaying the Minotaur. The Minotaur is half man, half bull. So there's the half man, half bull, but it has the cycloptic eye, just like Odysseus, the Cyclops. Hal has one eye. So there's Jack in the maze. So we're making connections with these pairing. There's the Minotaur again. So Jack is the Minotaur. He's in the maze, just like the myth. And so we have a pair of Jacks right there. Both of them die on Kubrick movie release dates. We have the Arbus twins. These are the ones that Diane Arbus takes. One's happy, one's sad. They're polar opposites. So you got Johnny Carson, the boxer. Johnny Carson, the comedian. He's a polar opposite in his two professions he has. You've got Paul and Paul. One's the real Paul McCartney. One's the replacement, the fake one. So they're polar opposites. You got John Nada. He goes from mild-mannered to carrying a shotgun. There's Jack Johnson. He forms a polar opposite with Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson was like the color barrier breaker, and Jack Johnson was just out of control. You got Julian Lennon, it's the Julian calendar. So there you got Johnny Malkovich, an older man, and you've got two younger girls. They're polar opposites. You got Mick Jagger. He's doing Admiral Byrd. You got the monolith. You got the Tycho magnetic anomaly in the Tycho crater. You got the Clavius base. So Clavius was Tycho's nemesis. They were like polar opposites. You've got the Tycho magnetic anomaly. So we're being drawn attention right to Tycho, the crater. The largest crater on the moon is Tycho crater. There's Christopher Clavius, Tycho's nemesis. He's definitely tied into the Jesuits, which is the IHS on his documents. He has the slices in the roof of the Clavius base. They open the slices up. There he is again. He's got his compass. He's got the book stack in a 3-4-5 pyramid. I mean, it's pretty obvious. So it's the Clavius base in 2001, A Space Odyssey. So he creates the first Gregorian calendar ever with leap year. He had a pair of ICBM ICBM bombs. You get a double eagle in golf. We're always making pairs. So you have a double eagle in golf, and then you have a double eagle in coins. You have the double Masonic eagle. So they're opposites. You got right there on the left almond, you can see the bronze eagle by the radio, and you can see the bronze eagle in the window. They disappear at different times, which you'll see later in the video. So you get the double Masonic eagle, the double gull wing DeLorean, build better wings. Don't fly too high. You get the flat tire in Kubrick's Look magazine pictorial. You get the flat tire in the movie The Killing. We're making pairs. You have the polar opposites. One's happy, one's sad. Their hands are being mirrored in different positions every time you see them. They're being mirrored. You've got the mirrors. One's a television movie actress, and the other one's a normal woman. Here you see the bronze eagles again. One in the window, one behind the radio. The Titanic and the Olympic. The Olympic sinks. The Titanic never sinks. So they're polar opposites. One floats, one doesn't. It was Jupiter in Kubrick's movie, but in Arthur C. Clarke's movie, it was Saturn. So Saturn and Jupiter were battling each other in the Battle of the Titans. They're polar opposites. You had the Saturn V missile. So once again, you had the cruise missile, you had the Sidewinder, you had the Maverick, you had the Twin Towers become one tower. Twin pines become one lone pine. You've got, oh, I don't even know what I was doing on that one there. Oh, the twin caretakers, Delbert and Charles. There's only one in the book. You got Artemis and Apollo. They're twins. And they're polar opposites, male and female. You have the twin Cartier brothers. One's a fighter, one's not. So this will be Kubrick's movie, Day of the Fight. So Kubrick produces his first movie, Day of the Fight, and it's starring a pair of twins. One's a boxer and one isn't. So they're Jungian opposites. So this is one of the first instances where he gives you Jungian opposites. There they are again. And also I want to mention, when they turn, they rotate in synchronization, just like the North and South Pole. So you have the young woman who's attractive in the bathtub and the old woman who's not. So you have the polar opposites there. You have the twin boilers. They're two different boilers. One's a little bit bigger than the other one. They're not the same, but in the book it's one boiler. You got Twin Peaks. You get the double eagle coin. You get a double eagle in golf. You get the Masonic double eagle. You get the double eagle chair in Eyes Wide Shut that Leon Vitali sits in. Leon Vitali's born the same day as Stanley Kubrick. He was his personal assistant. Here we can see the bronze eagle in the window, and we can also see it in the desk in front of her, right next to the radio. So we've seen this numerous times. So there it is in the window, and if you watch carefully, there it is in the desk, right to the right of the radio, and then it disappears. So it's there right now. We've already seen it. You can see the top of it right there. And now we're going to change angles, and it's gone. The bronze eagle is gone. So there's one of the times it disappears. The other time it disappears is when Barry Holman's doing his interview. It's on the window, and then it's not on the window. It disappears. So anything that goes missing, we need to pay attention to. In this case, it's two bronze eagles. So you get a double bronze eagle goes missing. So you can see the one on the window now and how large it really is. So here's the interview. It's not there now. It was there like a minute ago, but it's not there now. So it's gone missing. And he's got the theater curtains. The window itself is an impossible window. It's in the middle of the hotel. So you've got Jungian opposite boxers. One's like a street thug. The other's comes from a wealthy family. You've got the Discovery ship and the Discovery craft in 2001. You've got the Discovery ship in 2001 and the double doors that Dave has to get through. You get the snowball fight in The Shining. You've got Snowball in Full Metal Jacket. So there's a pair of snowballs there. In the movie Eyes Wide Shut, he says, what did she take? And he says, she took a snowball or a speedball. So you got triple snowball here. So it's no ball. It's not a ball. It's no globe. There's a Discovery craft in 2001, and then we have Robert Falcon Scott's ship. So we have David Randolph Scott as the Apollo 15 astronaut, and you have Randolph Scott as the star of Carson City that we see playing on Wendy's TV set. And we have Randolph Scott, the last man to the South Pole, and his ship, the Discovery, which then you get the Burns twins lying in polar opposite positions. I mean, they're twins, they're not identical, and they're lying in polar opposite positions. This is, we're looking at the sphere globe that you're told you lived on right here, and it's being told through pictures, but that's what it is. They're polar opposites. Their hands are mirrored different directions every time you see them. One is smiling and one is, so they're Jungian polar opposites. So there's their hands. They mirror the hands there.
All the best people.
All the best people, yeah. So Danny is in the games room and he's shooting darts. He's shooting it at the azimuthal equidistant projection. Yeah. So Danny is in the games room and he's shooting darts. He's shooting it at the azimuthal equidistant projection. Yeah. So Danny is in the games room and he's shooting darts. He's shooting it at the azimuthal equidistant projection. Yeah. So Danny is in the games room and he's shooting darts. He's shooting it at the azimuthal equidistant projection. Yeah. So Danny is in the games room and he's shooting darts. He's shooting it at the azimuthal equidistant projection, the slices of the projection, like the slice in golf and slice in tennis and slice in ping pong, slice from Jack's axe. And as he's playing darts with his slices of the azimuthal equidistant map, he turns around and he sees the polar twins. And there they are. They're holding hands, and they reverse their hands again. Every time you see them, they're reversing their hands. And they look at him, and he looks at them, and then they rotate in perfect synchronization and walk out of the room, just like the Earth rotates with its poles. So, Wendy has a Polaroid one-step camera. So it's one small step. It's a Polaroid camera. It's a leap year. Jack is clearly bipolar. And this scene itself illustrates how bipolar Jack really is.
How's it going?
He's like, not a happy camper.
Get a lot written today?
There's the scrapbook that we're writing. We're stacking neatly.
Hey,
Kubrick's
weather forecast said it's
scrapbook,
gonna snow tonight.
his diary.
What do you want me to do with this?
So they're about to be snowbound, which means there's no boundary.
Don't be so grouchy.
I'm not being grouchy. I just want to finish my work.
And you got the Adler Eagle typewriter, which changes color.
Okay, I understand. I'll come back later on with a couple of sandwiches for you, and maybe you'll let me read something then.
There's a new rule here.
Wendy. Something to you. Whenever you come in here and interrupt me, you're breaking my concentration. You're distracting me. And it will then take some time to get back to where I was. Understand?
Yeah?
Fine. We're gonna make a new rule.
We're gonna make
When I'm in here, you hear me typing. Well, don't hear me typing. What the fuck you hear me doing in here? When I'm in here, that means that I'm working. That means don't come in. How do you think you can handle that?
So Jack is, he's got two distinct personalities. And,
Why don't you start right now and get the fuck out of here?
he's clearly bipolar. I mean, it's day and night when he's in one of the other states. So we go from Jack as clearly bipolar. Let's take a look at Danny. We saw this scene earlier about the Roadrunner. It's in the Cuckoo family. The Peregrine production. A Peregrine is in the Falcon family. So you have the Falcon, Lamb, and Peregrine productions. So the Peregrine is in the Falcon family. You have the Roadrunner and the Cuckoo. The Roadrunner's in the Cuckoo family.
Listen to me for a minute, will you? I'm just gonna go and talk to Daddy for a few minutes. And I'll be right back. Now, I want you to just stay here and watch your cartoons, okay? Okay, hon?
Mrs. Torrance.
So Danny clearly has two distinct personalities, and one's Tony, one is Danny. I mean, he makes this blatantly obvious throughout the entire movie that there's two personalities. In the book, he sees himself 30 years in the future, and that's who Tony is.
Colonel? Read, what is that button on your body armor?
A peace symbol, sir.
Where'd you get it?
I don't remember, sir.
What is that you've got written on your helmet?
Born to kill, sir.
You write born to kill on your helmet, and you wear a peace button.
So,
What's that supposed to be? Some kind of sick
Jungian.
joke?
No, sir.
What is it supposed to mean?
I don't know, sir.
You don't know very much, do you?
No, sir.
You better get your head and your ass wired together, or I will take a giant shit on you.
Giant
Yes,
shit.
sir.
So answer my question, or you'll be standing tall before the man.
We're going to get the ball.
I think I was
games
trying to suggest
allegory.
something about the duality of man, sir.
The what?
The duality of man, the Jungian thing, sir.
So the dark and the light.
Whose side are you on, son?
Our side, sir.
Don't you love your country?
Yes, sir.
How about getting with the program? Why don't you jump on the team and come on in for the big win?
Jump on the team
Yes,
and come out
sir.
with the big win.
Son, all I've ever asked of my Marines is for them to obey my orders as they would the word of God.
yeah,
We
I
are
love
here
that
to
line.
help the Vietnamese because inside
this is
every
Bruce
group
Boa,
there is
a
an
snake, by
American
the way.
trying to get out.
Just like you had the
It's a hardball
Sidewinder
world,
snake
son.
and the asp
We've
and
got to try to keep our heads until this peace craze blows over.
Bushmaster.
Aye, aye, sir.
See, Carl Jungi, and so it's the light and the shadow. It's the dark and the light. It's the two polar opposites. So here we see the dark. This is this is some NASA. This is really good from NASA. So we see that we finally get to see a video of the dark side of the moon. Wow, I'm excited. But the clouds don't ever change in it. So don't get your hopes up. It's not real. I know it's depressing, and it looks pretty hokey too. We spent like I think $600 billion on that, on those 9 frames that we just saw there. Here's Kubrick's Polaris production. So Polaris is the North Star. So if you got the North Star, you're going to be looking for the Southern Cross. You're looking for polar opposites. And of course, it's the star that never moves in the night sky. And Tycho says there's no apparent parallax change over large. There he is with his pathetic nose and his pet elk and his red hair. You know, this is psychomagnetic anomaly. That's where they find the monolith. It's a monolithic message. Christopher CLAVIUS creates the first Gregorian calendar with leap year. One small step, one giant leap. So he's tied into the Jesuits. The whole thing is a Jesuit operation. It starts in 1582.
I'm going to step off the limb.
Yeah, he's going to step off the limb now.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
One giant leap of horseshit. So
Small step for man.
CLAVIUS creates the leap year,
Now step off
which
the limb.
1980, the year The Shining was released, was a leap year.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Very fine. I'm going to step off the limb.
Yeah. So after he says that, they always edit this part out. I'll play it for you.
One giant leap for mankind. Oh, that looks beautiful.
3-footer.
Hopping over hill and dale.
So here we have the hippity hoppity, the bunny hopping, the kangaroo hopping.
Hippity hopping along.
But there's a method to this madness. Why he's showing you all this. And here we go again.
Hippity hopping over hill and dale.
Oh yay! Does he seem like he's concerned he might get a hole in his suit and die in like a split second?
It's worth it.
Because he really doesn't. These look like guys playing on a movie set to me, because that's what they are.
Heading is obvious. Frame number, Dave. Yeah. Okay, let's summarize. Oh, frame number. Yeah. 766.
7 out of 6.
Okay.
6 out of 7.
I guess that'll do it for here. To summarize here, I think we see from the top to the bottom, one distinct layer of 10%, which has multi-layers within it, and then another at about 40%, which looks
Watch
like
carefully.
a solid unit of a somewhat inner.
So they're tripping and falling on the moon, and Kubrick is including these in the real footage. He's leaving the fuck ups in. So we see this anywhere else in his stuff? I wonder.
You've obviously never heard of CLAVIUS. CLAVIUS has a radioactive half-life of 93 years. If you take, say, 50 H-bombs in 100 megaton range and jacket them with CLAVIUS, when they are exploded, they will produce a doomsday shroud.
A doomsday shroud.
Of radioactivity which will
So this man's name is Peter Bull. So he's one of the bulls, you know. Slim is the real life matador. He's riding the bull bomb.
Afraid I don't understand something, Alexa.
Peter Bull.
Is the Premier threatening to explode this if our planes carry out their attack?
No, sir. It is not a thing a sane man would do. The doomsday machine is designed to trigger itself automatically.
So watch this next part carefully.
Disarm it somehow?
No, it is designed
Specifically
to
watch George
any
C.
attempt
Scott.
is ever made to untrigger it.
One of the Scots.
Tommy trick, Mr. President, we're wasting value.
So George C. Scott complained after the movie came out that Kubrick included all his screw-up clips
40%, which looks like
intentionally.
a solid unit of a
Oh, there's another one. Yeah, oops.
hard rock, but
So
it's covered with
Kubrick likes
tail.
including
About
screw-ups in
40%,
his footage
which looks like
to make it look
a
more
solid
real.
unit of a somewhat thinner, hard rock, but it's covered with tailors.
So here we go. They're on the moon doing real science and furthering mankind. And I mean, he went down hard right there. And he's on a harness, so he's not... Some of his weight's being supported, but still, he comes down on his knee pretty hard there. And you could tell he isn't moving. He's like, oh, shit.
Remind me to dust my camera, too, will you? Don't forget to dust your camera.
Yeah, they're real sympathetic, too. They're like, yeah, dust your camera. Oh, man. That's got to hurt. Because, you know, I don't know what that fake suit weighs, but it's not light. Big board. Here we go. Hippity hoppity. Woohoo! Hippity hoppity! They're doing the bunny hop, the kangaroo hop. One small step, one giant leap. That's a giant leap right there. Now remember, we have bunnies in our puzzle, so don't forget that.
Hippity hoppity, hippity hoppity, hippity hopping over hill and dale.
So hippity hoppity, we got the bunnies. So we're seeing this theme of polar opposites. The Burns twins were not twins in the book; they were sisters. In the movie, you know, one is smiling, one is frowning. So frequently in twins, they're polar opposites. So it's, you know, he's giving you the polar opposites. He's giving you the polar explorers. He gives you the Discovery craft, and he gives you Robert Falcon Scott, whose ship was the Discovery, and he was a polar explorer. So Robert Falcon Scott is the last man to the South Pole. He dies on the return trip, and the only reason we know this is he has a diary. Raoul Amundsen is the first man to the...
Boy, what a view. I can see Pluton and Icarus. Boy, what a view. I can see Pluton and Icarus.
So you can see Pluton and Icarus. Remember that. You have Kubrick's Icarus speech, Build Better Wings. You know, Icarus flew too close to Apollo, the sun. Yeah, the rover. Like a dog, you know, a shepherd. The boxer.
There are no sharp, jagged peaks. There are no large boulders apparent anywhere.
So this is all front screen projection you're looking at, and the reason we know it's front screen projection is when we see them moving in the scene, the backgrounds show no apparent parallax change, just like the night sky. So watch carefully. Whoa! Whoa! I mean, does he seem concerned? Like, wow, if I fall down and crack the glass in my visor.
Almost see twinning in there. Guess what we just found?
Not really.
I think we found what we came for. Crystal rock, huh? Yes, sir. You better believe it.
To the untrained eye, it looked like just another
twinning.
Rock, but its large crystals.
So they found a thing with rocks called twinning in crystals.
A section of primal lunar crust. To the untrained eye, it looked like just another rock.
Because that's what it is. Twinning in the rocks. This is Apollo 15, the mission that launches on Stanley's birthday. So you have the twins, their hands are being mirrored every time. You have the Artemis twins. You have the Diane Arbus dies 1971, July 26th, the day Apollo 15 launches. It's Kubrick's birthday. With the Twin Towers, you know, the twin Sarah Connor. You got the twin Paul and Fall. One's real, one's replacement. The double eagle, the Sonic Eagle. The Titanic and the Olympic, one sinks, one doesn't. Polar opposites. You've got the Diane Arbus picture of Mick Jagger
nicknamed the Genesis Rock. It stands as a major clue in unraveling the formative
Genesis Rock. So Apollo 8 reads Genesis live on Christmas from their spaceship. And Apollo 15 finds the Genesis Rock with twinning in it.
And there might be diamonds in the next one.
Yeah, next trip, you're right.
No, there's crazy diamonds everywhere.
They're going to be seasick.
What do you expect traveling on the Mare?
Yeah, on the Mare, the stallion, the coal, the filly. Whoa, look out. So they got these astronauts falling down on the moon. Remember that you've seen numerous astronauts tripping and falling and running and jumping and slamming their heads into the ground, right? So you have this repeating theme of falling
Spacecraft
astronauts.
Commander Dave Scott.
I think many people have contributed to this pinnacle we've reached. Some have contributed more than others, and we know of 14 individuals who contributed all they had. And because of that, we left a small memorial on the moon.
This is Apollo 15.
About 20 feet north of Rover 1, in a small, subtle crater, there's a simple plaque with 14 names. And those are the names in alphabetical order of all the astronauts
So these
and
are the men
cosmonauts
that were
who have
murdered.
died in the pursuit of exploration of
Grissom's
space.
on there. So is Ed White and Roger
There's a
Chaffee.
small figure representing the fallen
So
astronaut.
there's the fallen astronaut.
Near it,
It's
there's a
missing
small
its
figure
arms.
representing
The
fallen
fallen
Near
astronaut.
it, there's a
So we
small
just
figure
watched 20 clips
representing
of
the fallen
astronauts
astronaut.
falling, and Kubrick's intentionally leaving them in the footage. And it's a Kubrick. The actual figurine is called a Kubrick. You know, I don't know how you can.
Board, but with our minds. And I'd like to quote a statement from
This is
Plutarch, which
good.
I think expresses our feelings since we've come back. The mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be lighted. Thank you.
So the mind is not a vessel to be filled. It's a fire to be lighted.
Can I go to my room and get my fire engine?
Come here for a minute first.
So Danny wants to play with his fire engine. In the book, the hotel burns down.
And tried to burn it down.
The mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be lighted.
Well, it stole a packet of matches.
So the Apollo crew dies in the fire. And don't fly too high.
But
Those better wings.
corrected them, sir.
See how they got corrected. It's Apollo 1 crew.
Get my fire engine?
Danny wants to play with his fire engine. Jack won't let him. Icarus flies too high and he gets too close to the heat from Apollo's, the sun.
My girls, sir, they didn't care for the Overlook at first. One of them actually stole a pack of matches and tried to burn it down.
So, the real Stanley Hotel burns down. There was a gas leak, explodes. So there's a Stanley Hotel with a fire engine in front of it. And so the Stanley Hotel was founded by the Stanley twins. They're identical twins. And there they are. They built the car, the Stanley Steamer. So that vehicle is the Stanley Steamer. So this is the same hotel we see in Dumb and Dumber. And he goes, no way!
Naughty boy.
His name is Lloyd Christmas, a holiday.
I may be so bold, but
Very naughty boy.
corrected them, sir.
He corrected them.
And when my wife tried to prevent me from doing my duty, I corrected her. But he is attempting to use that very talent against your will.
Get my fire engine?
Yeah, can I get my fire engine?
Naughty boy, if I may be so bold. Perhaps a bit more.
And that's it. So there's, I mean, it's dozens of polar opposites. Wendy has the Polaroid camera, the one step, you know, with a rainbow on it. So when you're watching Kubrick's movies in the future, think about polar opposites when you're watching them, and you'll be surprised at how many is included. And that's it, guys.